Hello and welcome. We've been looking at the top five disruptions of recent times, and today we'll be looking at the software services sector, a sector that was practically synonymous with growth. So it was a little alarming that recently the largest companies posted either flat or declining growth. To help us make sense of this, we have an expert guest speaker, Mr. Samir Karsale, the founder of a mid-size and fast-growing enterprise software services company, Zlight Solutions. Welcome to the video chat, Samir.
Thanks, Suhasini.
And I'll come to my first question that with all the IT majors, seem to be struggling for growth. So are we seeing that the landscape of software services globally has changed?
Okay, so Suhasini, let me break your questions into two parts if you can allow me. The first thing is about the growth, and the second, I believe, we're talking about the change in landscape, the IT services landscape. So when it comes to numbers, let me walk you through some numbers out here. So in 2023, as an IT services, we saw somewhere around 8% year-on-year growth as compared to 2022, reaching to somewhere $1.3 trillion. In 2024, if we have to believe again Gartner's report, we are estimating around $1.5 trillion, contributing somewhere around 8.7% growth year on year again. But then it's an entire IT services. So let's break down these IT services into different subsegments. So one would be your IT consulting and implementation, where Zilite and major of the IT companies would be. So example, companies which are into enterprise application development or custom application development, mobile development, so on and so forth. The second would be business process outsourcing. Third would be IT outsourcing. Example would be like web hosting, admin outsourcing, etc. And the third and the fourth would be other IT services. So those are basically the learning and development into IT, software installation and support. So the decline in terms of growth that what we are looking at is typically into IT consulting and implementation services. Now, the current market size currently we're talking about is around $72.36 billion roughly. And then this segment basically in 21-22, we have seen 10.71 and 11% growth approximately year on year basis. 2023, we have seen a decline to single digit, that is 7% approximately. And 2024, it's going down below to 6.7%. And then by 2028, we are estimating to be somewhere around 3.5%. So yes, there is out there. But then there are various factors which are basically can be attributed towards this downturn. Typically, the economic downturns, the shift in, or maybe the shift in client spending, geopolitical tensions, or even you can attribute it to rapid technological changes. So when generally there is a slowdown from my perspective, it signals that the industries are basically recalibrating in the anticipation of some kind of technological innovation.
Mhm.
Now, if you look at in the recent past, very recent past, we have seen there is a lot of movement happening across in generative AI or Gen AI. So I believe this is the area when actually the organizations, the large organizations are basically kind of trying to re-strategize themselves so that they can align with the upcoming technology and see how they can embrace this technology in terms of automating their processes and then can increase their operational efficiency. So now let's address the second question when it comes to the IT landscape. Of course, I do see that the IT landscape is changing, and there is no doubt about it. So basically, Gen AI or generative AI is enabling companies to explore new market and opportunities which previously were inaccessible. So there are many companies basically who are working into the space of Gen AI, and recently we have seen a lot of investment happening into Gen AI, as an open AI talking about Microsoft or Alphabet, Google. So a lot of investment is happening out there, and there is something which is uh, new things coming up out there, and daily we are seeing some new case studies, some new happenings out there. Now, in terms of Gen AI, again, there are a lot of things which basically companies are trying to adopt into. Typically, giving an example, let's say we talk about the content creation. So, content creation has like a lot of marketing companies and all agencies rather are using Gen AI to generate diverse and kind of tailor specific content based on demographics and regions. We have seen translation as booming field, wherein earlier it was more human intelligence or rather human centric domain, but now using of this translation AI app and all, which is based on the Gen AI, we are seeing a lot of things happening. We can simply like convert one language into multiple or translate one language into multiple languages. So these are the areas when we are seeing a lot of tractions happening. Of course, educational and financial services as well. If I have to give an example, recently Zilite also has started shifting their focus into Gen AI. We have been in discussion with some kind of with an insurance company based in the US. So this company basically want us to do some kind of POC or a model which basically will allow the policy advisory part to be taken care by Gen AI. So the user will put across. So basically, the Gen AI will have all the inputs about the persons out there, and then based on this various factors, it will determine which policy is going to be helpful for the user. So if you see this, these are the some kind of areas wherein we've been working with. So as in Gen AI, again, talking about, we've been recently partnered with Middle East government, one of our country based in Middle East government, wherein we are building an LLM model for them to kind of identify the anomalies in the legal agreements. That's again into languages which is Arabic and English. So we see a lot of things happening out there, and I do see this is very promising field, and really would want to kind of move ahead along with the new technology adoption which is currently happening into the industry.
Wow, those are some amazing perspectives and developments that you've shared. And yes, it's a very exciting space. Even in the field of marketing, we've been looking at developments with Gen AI in content and translation that you mentioned. And so this is very valuable. And I come to my next question, which is, in this scenario and the way the world is emerging, what can small and mid-sized software services companies do?
Yeah. Okay. Now, Zilite, as in like when we are seeing a decline towards year-on-year growth in terms of the typically the IT implementation consulting services. So we are also facing the same thing out here in this industry. But then what we are doing, what we are trying to do is we have adopted few models, to make sure that we kind of are aligned with the new market trends and new market happenings. So few of things, would be like we basically are focusing being more agile and resilient in our business practices. So from our perspective, you being or rather adopting agile methodology is not limited to project management, but then it's also important in terms of strategic planning and business operation. We need to be adaptive, meaning that's very much important out here, and we have to be able to quickly respond to the market changes and customer needs as in they come across. Second thing is we are basically investing into emerging technologies, typically into Gen AI and all. So I'll give you an example here again. It's important that, meaning you can be a small company or a mid-sized company. Of course, we basically have limited funds, and if we are like, self-funded companies and also there are a lot of challenges which comes across. But honestly, like, maybe a small portion of these things, can be basically kind of invested into some kind of research and research part in terms of the emerging technologies rather. So you can allocate few of your resources to build capabilities in emerging technologies so that you are future proof when it comes to the new technology which basically takes over the entire market. So this is what we basically are trying to do. As I said, like, we've been also working into various areas. One of the recent happening in Zilite is basically we are helping some startups to, rather we are partnered with startups, to help them to build some platform, basically. So as this recent example, we've been working with, we are rather been in discussion with US-based startup company, which is into education tech, and they have a very particular, very, very niche idea that they have come up with. So they basically are want to have this Gen AI to basically help the students across the region to get a customized learning. So
Okay.
based on my skill sets or based on my interest as a student, the platform will basically come up with the areas wherein they can enhance my existing capabilities to a larger level. So something like this, if you can see, if you can open your network and see what all things can be done across into this new field. So that's something that what I understand, what I believe that a small or medium enterprise should do. The most important part is, like, since there is a downturn in the market, so enhance your customer value. So it's not only merely about providing services, but go with some kind of value, understand the problems, understand the constraints, and try solving those problems, because this customer is going to take you at a very different level, at a very large level, once they basically, once the market basically starts seeing the upstream side of it. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
the last point basically, yeah, I'm sorry. The
I,
last point basically I want to put across is, you have to prioritize your customer retention as well. We generally see that when there is a slowdown, the customers will come across and say that, hey guys, you know what, we probably don't want to kind of increase the annual maintenance cost, or maybe the renewal agreement. We might want to see if there is some kind of discount that is being given. So see, as far as you are able to kind of retain your customer, so that's the most important part. That's what I believe, as a small and medium enterprise should be able to implement those. Yeah.
these have been some fantastic perspectives, insights, and information that you've shared with all of us, Samir, to help software services companies, small and mid-sized ones, be more prepared for the future. This is very, very valuable. In a few minutes, you've shared with us a wealth of information, and I really thank you for your time. And on behalf of our viewers from B2B Growth Essentials and Market Access Consulting on all our social media channels, I really thank you for this interaction and for this video chat. And I wish Z Light Solutions great success in 2024.